And if you were watching Two Wheels last week, you'll probably remember that I've actually bought myself a bike. £2,300 I paid for it. Well, the good news is I got a bit of an extra deal going as well. I noticed as we were loading it into the van that the front wheel was bent. So I've got myself a front wheel, I've got myself a front set of forks. So what I'm going to do is I'll put these down on the bench, get rid of them because it's getting a bit heavy. As you can see, we've actually got the bike on the bench. It was a bit of a struggle, but at the end of the day, it's there. Now these benches, they're going to cost you about £450, but believe you me, they're well worth it. You can get the bike up in the air, you can see all the way around it. Even if you can't afford a bench, what you need to do is get the kitchen table out. Put the bike on the kitchen table, that makes life a lot easier. Another thing that you'll also need is a decent toolkit. Make sure you've got all the tools to do the job. There's nothing worse than starting the job and then finding out you've not got the correct tool. Right then, what we need to do is get rid of these panels, the panels that we're not going to actually use. So first thing off, I have loosened most of the panels off. Let's get rid of this grab rail. As you can see, there's a scratch on it. We don't need that. The seat, I'm going to clean up. There's a bit of writing on it, so I'll put that there. Doesn't get any further damage on it. This back panel, slide it off from the back, unhook it. We don't need that either. What I'm going to have to do is I think I'll let the ramp down a little bit. We'll remove the fuel tank. Lift it up at the back, slide it forward, everything else will fall off. There's actually some fuel in this, so let's be a bit careful we won't throw this one. Put that down there nice and safe. Right, I think we can actually jack it up. So here we go, let's get pumping this. We need to get it up to a nice workable height where we're not bending over, we're not damaging the back, so hold on, here we go, let's get it up. So handy these. You can have it at one level 1 minute, a few pumps on the old paddle, and you're right up in the air, you can get at it. Let's go around the other side now. As I said before, I have loosened most of the bolts, etc., etc., so we'll just whiz these out. That's that one gone. That can go over there. All these bolts will come out. We'll just put them on the bench for the time being. What we will do shortly is find a nice box to put all these bits and pieces in. This centre panel looks okay because we're going to keep that. I'll put that on the bench over here, out of the way. Remove all these side pieces. These with a little bit of blacking on them, they'll come up a treat. So let's get rid of all those. They can go on the bench with all the stuff that we're going to keep. Let's take the other ones off. Nice and easy. We're keeping those. That's good. We need to get at the speedo now, so what we're going to do is let the bench down because I think we've got everything off at that level. Next job then is to get rid of the clocks. We're going to have to replace the fascia on those. I'll keep these on the bench for the time being. Put the nuts and bolts in there. As I mentioned last week, this subframe is damaged, but it may repair. So if we remove the bolts there and there, like that, put them in the tray. We'll also remove the oil cooler bolts. 1, 2, and we should be able now to lift the entire front subframe away from the bike. Okay, now we've got all the parts stripped off. We've jacked the bench up. We're going to have a look at these forks. Obviously, massive big crease in it there. But I'm not too worried. We've got a set of forks in the deal for the £2,350. Front brake lines, now these are just bent. There's no kinks in them, so maybe we'll get away with straightening those. Front wheel, obviously no good. We need to replace that. Again, we've got that in with the deal. Let's go on to the chassis. Just a quick look round here. Everything seems to be okay. Onto the chassis, we're looking for obvious signs, dents, scratches, whatever. There's a couple of marks on it. I don't think those are going to be a problem. There's a little mark there that you will see, but we've got a little sticky carbon fibre pad. That looked quite smart on there. No worries at all. Obviously, this is broken. The actual pedal itself and the footrest, they're okay. Once we've stripped that down, there we go, replacement. No problems at all, got that thrown in as well. Onto the exhaust. There's a couple of little scratches on the exhaust on this side, not too bothered. A little bit of metal polish, we'll get rid of that and get rid of that. Looking at the subframe, everything seems to be intact. That doesn't seem to have taken any of the accident damage. That's fine. I think it's time to make a parts list. So as you can see, we've already done the list, but we'll go through that in more detail next week.